I need a 30 for 30 to show that I'm different like Jordan and Pippen, you bitch. I need a 30 for 30 like Jalen and Webber. Nobody gon' fuck on my clique. I need a 30 for 30. All right, I'm happy to have my brother here with me for another segment of How About Them Cowboys. Ray, what it is, man?
Man, you got it, brother. Always glad to be on here with you.
Man, last week when we taped, we were festive. My godson was on this thing. He let that How About Them Cowboy roll.
Yeah.
I love to see him. But I noticed you ain't got him here this week.
No, because there's nothing for him to How About Them Cowboys about, right? So I'm not gonna bring my son in here and embarrass him, embarrass me for the cause. We're not doing that this week. This week we're keeping it all the way real, and so my son got better things to do. He's in there learning right now.
Well, more power to him.
Yeah,
you got to do that. I know you're gonna raise him up right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna get out the way, and since you the pulse,
I'm gonna get out the way.
I'm gonna get out the way. Okay. Since you the pulse of Cowboys Nation,
sure.
And I saw what you saw, especially from my former coach Mike McCarthy,
sure.
And you've already voiced your concerns, your disdain in our group text amongst each other.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get out the way and let you express yourself.
Yeah, and you know you don't have to. I encourage group participation.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But at the same time, I know this is technically you're the host of the show. I want to ask you a question.
All right.
What's it like, man, to watch robberies happen live? You know what I mean? Even if you didn't watch the game live, that's not just for my brother. That's for anybody who watched the Cowboys game. Okay. What's it like to watch robbery happen before your very eyes? What I mean by that is Mike McCarthy is stealing money. Every week that he's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, this brother is stealing money. Right. Hey, man, for what he's doing, and I'm not trying to like, you know, downplay the importance of a head coach, because I think that role is you know, the utmost importance. But the way that he's doing it, anybody on this show can be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, because it's just, hey, what do we want to do today? We want to do fake punch from the 20, our 20. Let's do it. On 4th and inches, you want to throw it instead of run it. Let's do it. I don't know how much time is left on the clock. It doesn't matter. Let's just go out here and play backyard football and see what's going on. And at the end of the day, you'll get a paycheck. Problem with that is your job's supposed to be based on wins and losses, right?
Right.
Wins and losses as a head coach are the most important thing.
Right.
Yes, Jason Garrett lasted a decade with average records, but Jason Garrett is in New York right now with the Giants laughing at us because he's like, you know, 8-8 don't sound so bad right now, and it doesn't. Hey, man, you have to give them a pass in certain areas.
Okay.
And by a pass, I mean you have to acknowledge things. I'm not saying give them a pass in terms of not performing week in and week out. What I'm saying is there are realities that are happening every week with the Cowboys, right? Your all-pro guard, the one remaining, you know, true starter that you have, went down with a calf injury in the game. You're down 2 starting offensive tackles before you get into the game. Your all-pro guard was starting to tackle, then he goes down. So you got to replace that. It's a shuffle on the offensive line, which if you are a true football head aficionado, you know that the game is won and lost on the offensive and defensive line. You can have as many skill position players as you want to, great quarterback play. If you can't protect that stuff, it doesn't matter. Right. It just doesn't matter, right? I got some notes here. I just want to go through just to kind of give you an idea of what I saw, man. Second quarter, 4th and inches, we go for it. I do think that was the right call.
Okay.
Because it was near midfield.
Right call to go for it, or right
call to go for it.
Okay, I'm with you.
But the way you go about it is all wrong, right? You know, when we were single, because we're married, but when we were single, you see a nice young lady, it's the right thing to shoot your shot. But how you approach it is all wrong in this case, man. Right? Like you come up to it and you're very, you know, suave and debonair instead of just being outlandish with what you're gonna say to her. This man on 4th and inches said, "I'm gonna throw a 10-yard hitch." Why?
He did.
Why?
And how much y'all paying Zeke for? Because I would think you would use
the highest paid running back in the NFL. Guaranteed money and contract wise, the highest paid running back in the NFL.
Is he not? Y'all are paying him for that moment. Fourth and inches. Go get
fourth and inches. And listen, I don't care how he's performed. It doesn't matter. For that dollar amount, you say you go and get it. This is why we paid you. I understand he fumbled in that game. It bothered me as well. It pissed me off, to be quite honest with you. But at the end of the day, you still got to give him the ball. Or hell, bring in Tony Pollard. Let him do it too. Mm-hmm. You got guys that can do it. Fourth and inches and you throw it, that just shows like you're not a good decision maker. You're not a good like thinking this thing through, right? And there are only so many plays that you can run on fourth and inches anyway. This is stuff that you talk about during the week. And somebody along the way said, throwing the ball on fourth and inches is a good idea. Whoever that was, whether it's Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, whoever it might be, needs to be at home tonight. But they're not. But it doesn't matter. Listen.
This big news. You call for job.
It doesn't matter what I'm saying to you right now because they're all still stealing money. It doesn't matter. They're all still stealing money. All right. The fourth down fake punt. That's the one that truly, truly bothers me.
Okay.
Because that's a dumb decision.
Right.
Because you're on your 20, you're on your side of the field. Man, you're not talked about. It's different if you're at midfield. You want to run that fake punt. You want to call for a fake punt. Excuse me. Okay, I can live with that. I'd be more impressed if you say it's fourth down, we're going for it. Just put your best players out there. Put the offense out there, especially on your own 20. If you say I want to go for it, you're not going to catch anybody off guard with a fake punt from your own 20. Hey, man, just bring the offense out there and run a passing play. You know what I mean? Like, be smart. Be logical.
Is there a Cowboy blog or is anybody that a beat writer, Cowboy beat writer, anything reported what this man was thinking in that situation? Y'all were only down 4, if I'm not mistaken.
We were down 4 points, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I've never been a coach. You have, right? I have never coached a game professional down to high school. I've just played and studied the game. My personal opinion is that the job of a head coach is to put his team in successful positions, right? Putting the right guys on the field, on the court, on the diamond, whatever that might be.
That's at any level,
right? Putting together the correct game plan with the players that you have, understanding their strengths and weaknesses, what point in the game you are, all of that. That's the strategy of a head coach, helping your team be successful because, hell, you can't play. So you might as well figure out a way to say, what can I do as the organizer of all this to help these guys win? We don't have our best players on the offensive and defensive line right now, okay? We don't. So if they're gutting it out, man, if they're down 4 in the second half and they're working hard just to keep this thing close, don't do anything stupid like that, man, and say, we're going to let it all ride on a fake punt from your own 20. What that shows me is this. Everything that Mike McCarthy has earned in his coaching career is thanks to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has covered a multitude of sins of Mike McCarthy because at the end of the day, when you leave him to his own devices, this is what he drums up. He says, I'm going to allow my special teams coach to say, man, maybe we should go for it right here on a fake on our own 20. And he says, you know what? That's not a bad idea. And he may have done that at Green Bay. I don't know them like you, but what I'm telling you is there was an all-time great that was there to bail him out every Sunday. Okay?
I don't remember nothing like this. When he was up there with us, Aaron would get on him for being too conservative.
It's ridiculous, man.
But you had Aaron Rodgers. It was a situation where okay, Aaron can pick this up.
Yeah.
Even when we had like Randall Cobb, we got Jordan Nelson, you got Aaron, and you got these, serviceable receivers, like these good receivers. They weren't great, they weren't Hall of Fame. They were good receivers, and he wouldn't go for it. He's gotten down there with Child, and I don't know if it's the analytics you keep telling me he's saying he studied, or he's trying to impress Cowboy Nation, impress Jerry Jones, be anti-Garrett. I don't know what the man is thinking this year.
As I pull up my phone, because I like to take notes for this show as I'm watching the game. Okay. And also because the stuff that I'm seeing is so trash, I just got to put it down for record so I can remember it So when the Cowboys finish with a 10-6 record, and I say they underachieve, I need to go back to these moments to remind myself of what real trash looks like. All right. 4th down fake punt. Here are my words. And you can see it just in case. What the hell was that? I'm just telling you, man. You watch this and your immediate reaction is that.
Man, right? Why you really got that in them notes, man?
Because I'm just in my mind, I'm like, there's no way somebody who gets paid millions of dollars has decided to go for it on. Dude, we're talking 20, 25 yards away from allowing them an easy touchdown. They went down and scored after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a huge momentum shift in the game.
After that.
Immediately, man. That's a huge momentum shift. All of that. Even when Jalen Smith picked off, I can't think of the quarterback's name right now from the Washington football. Alex Smith. When he picked off Alex Smith, man, and got it all the way down to like the 5-yard line, it was brought down. We managed to screw that up. You're in the red zone within 5 yards of a touchdown, and you decide to get tricky on plays, man. And it's just like, what are you doing? If you're tanking, I got it. But you don't need to be that dramatic. We're bad enough as it is. You don't have to be dramatic and do fake punts to tank.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You're right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how crazy it's gotten for me, that I'm thinking he's running fake punts so we can absolutely lose this game. No way would a sane head coach call that play if he has means to win the game.
That may be true, brother, because I'm telling you now, all them years I had him up there, I have never seen this kind of. It's like he Riverboat Ron Rivera or something. It's like he the guy up there in Philadelphia. You know, all these guys, they got a reputation for doing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not McCarthy, man.
It's not McCarthy. And when you step outside of your character, you kind of lose yourself, man. You know, we as men, you know, on this show and just in your occupation, whatever it might be, you know what you're good at, you know what you're bad at. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. As a communications professional, I have no doubt about that. I work on my weaknesses. I hone my strengths. All right. When you start to step outside of what you are, your results will vary. More importantly, as the leader of the football team, in this case for the Dallas Cowboys, your team will take on your personality. And it's all over the place. They don't know what kind of leadership they have. And so, of course, they don't know how they're going to come out and what kind of vibe they're going to have week in and week out. I watched this team compete and fight their tails off, man, to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that is undefeated in this league, right?
Right.
How can you have that effort and then you see what you see, beat the Minnesota Vikings, a team that's tough, not saying they're a really good team, but a tough team, and then you come back and play against the Washington Football Club and show nothing? You want to know why? Because there were two coaches on that field. There was a guy that has beat cancer and has taken cancer treatments throughout the week and then shows up every week and coaches his team. So his players know, dude, there's no way we can't compete and show up and play hard if Ron Rivera is going through cancer treatment and showing up and just asking us to compete. We're going to compete. That's culture. Then you got Mike McCarthy talking about analytics and we may go for it on 4th down or whatever you say, Jerry Jones. We'll make it happen as long as you cut the check. That's two different men. And you're going to get two different results. And the result is this. You got your ass whooped. Plain and simple. Culture, I've been saying this since we started doing this segment. Culture is the difference. It's going to always be the difference. It's why the Cowboys are always going to be playing like this as long as you have guys like Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones running the show. Nothing's going to change. You and I have private conversations about when it will change. We're not going to do that right now. No, we're not going to do that right now.
Well, I want to ask you this then.
Okay.
In the midst of all of that,
okay,
did you see a Cowboy of the Week? Did you have?
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I did, and it was clear, even in the midst of all of that foolishness, man. Randy Gregory, a guy that has battled some demons of his own, right? He's been suspended multiple times, and I mean like 4+ times since he's been in the NFL. A young man out of Nebraska, 2nd-round pick for us. A while back at defensive end, has battled some drug addictions and just honestly some character issues. Came back this year after being suspended again and had 2 sacks in that game and dominated, whooped anybody they put in front of him. His thing is not lack of talent. When he is on and focused, there's nobody that can block him. He's the ultimate speed rusher. But it's consistency. And I just go back to there's nobody in the culture that can show him this is what it looks like to be a professional. The Fox pregame show, Jay Glazer, shout out to Jay Glazer, did a really good piece on Aldon Smith. He used to play for the 49ers and the Raiders, now plays for the Cowboys. He had some personal demons. And I don't want to say Jay took him under his wing, but he just kind of mentored him a little bit, man. Because I think we forget sometimes young men, and these guys are young men. Aldon Smith was an all-pro, and he was like 23, 24 years old. Well, when I was 23, 24 years old, I couldn't pay my bills, month to month, right? Without some help. So it just goes to show, man, you have to have the right culture. Jay Glazer, a professional, right? A guy that works for Fox Sports, took Aldon Smith under his wing, and now you're seeing Aldon Smith, the man now, dominating again, but also being a professional and a leader. That's the kind of stuff that Randy Gregory needs to consistently have the kind of week that he had versus the Washington Football Club. I wish the best for that young man, because when you see people struggling, going through personal demons, you want to help, you wish the best for him, but sometimes it takes that man to kind of look himself in the mirror and say, I want better for myself. I hope for Randy Gregory's case that he has seen that, because he's got so much talent, man, and because he hasn't played a lot, he's still got a lot of miles left, a lot of fuel in the tank, if you ask me. But it's just one of those things where he has to be accountable to himself. And honestly, man, the sky can be the limit for this young
man. Well, that's real. That's real. I'm glad you highlighted that, man.
Yeah.
Folks need to hear that, those redemption stories. Well, I know you gave me McCarthy, and of course, we've said already you can give me Jerry Jones every week.
Yeah.
But do we have a guy on the field who needs to do better in Big D then?
Yep. Ezekiel Elliott. Mike McCarthy. First of all, Mike McCarthy every week until I say different. Mike McCarthy every week, and you already know about Jerry Jones. He's the player of the year that needs to tighten up.
Right.
But just to switch it up, Ezekiel Elliott, he needs to step up, man. You can't be, thinking in your head that you're one of the top running backs, and you have more fumbles now than, half of the league combined. You know what I'm saying? That's a real stat, man. You have like 5 fumbles.
Man, what is it? Like, again, I got him in fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and we all know fantasy is one of the things that drives the NFL.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So he had 1 point for me in fantasy. One. Yep. Coming off a week where he was tremendous.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. This does not look like the guy. And he 25?
Yeah, man. Somebody, I can't remember who said it. I feel like it may have been Troy Aikman. I think Troy Aikman said that Zeke doesn't look as explosive. I have been one to say it's not explosive, it's hunger. But honestly, in that game, he did not look explosive. He didn't. There's no extra gear. Ezekiel Elliott goes about 6 foot, 235 pounds. He's a big running back.
Big boy.
He is not like initiating contact. You don't have to be fast. I don't care if you run a 4.2. If you're 235, you should at least be breaking tackles, right?
Yeah.
Not doing that anymore, man. It's not culture. I really do think that Ezekiel Elliott has so many miles on him that he may be breaking down already. Because again, when you flip that and you put in Tony Pollard is your backup. You're faster than him when it comes to measurables. You're stronger. You jump higher. You got all the measurables that beat Tony Pollard. But why does he have more explosive plays? Yes, part of that is hunger because Tony Pollard is fighting for another contract. But it's also the kid is fresh. You know what I mean?
300 carries.
Yeah, man. He just gets in the game and his legs are fresh. That's one of those things that I don't know about personally because I've never played at that level, but that's a real thing. I think you are starting to see Ezekiel Elliott, like you said, 25 years old, but he really looks like he's close to 30.
But to get to that though, all right, so you played high school football.
Yeah.
It is explain the soreness for somebody who might be watching and didn't play high school football or didn't play football in high school, college, and wherever, you know what I'm saying? Just the soreness you felt that next day on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And like I said, I played at that level. Guys like my wife's cousin that played at Southern Miss. He played running back.
And you played a little tailback too now.
Yeah, I did. So
in those situations, how did that feel? Because this is why I'm asking it.
Yeah.
You got these guys like Zeke been taking them hits since high school, if not younger. I saw some guys set like some records. He had like 400 yards.
Yep.
but he had like 30 carries. This in college.
Yeah.
This kid had 30 carries this past week. And I'm thinking, that's 30 hits on his body.
Yep.
He gonna carry all them hits. Them hits don't vanish. Them hits gonna go travel with you to the league.
Everything hurts. Everything hurts, man. From my perspective, my wife's cousin played running back at Southern Miss, Cody Hall with us. He'll tell you about it, right? Every Saturday, if you're talking high school, every Sunday, if you're talking college, when you wake up the next day, you feel it all over. I have injuries now that are a result of me playing high school ball. I have a knee right now that is busted beyond repair. As my orthopedic specialist tells me, I got the right knee of a 65-year-old. That's a high school injury. Things that once they are with you, they're not going away. Ezekiel Elliott hasn't had major knee issues, you know what I mean, like I've had, but he has had the wear and tear of the best athletes in the world, 300-pounders that run faster than you and I, chasing after him, falling on him every week. And he is not an avoid contact kind of guy, right? He's not that guy. He has absorbed contact from the best for a while, man. And I think what we're seeing is starting to take a toll. Now, some of that is hunger. I think this goes back to being a testament to Dak Prescott. Before it was Ezekiel Elliott bails out Dak Prescott. I think now we're seeing, no, they were a dynamic duo. Dak Prescott hid some sins of Ezekiel Elliott as well. You know what I mean? Like when you lose your 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it, when you lose your dynamic duo, you're not whole. You're not whole. And so what you're seeing now is Ezekiel Elliott. Everybody knows that he should be the guy. And I think that's a lot of pressure for him. And he has a lot of miles. And that's the performance that you're getting as a result of.
Last question.
Yep.
Can y'all get off that contract?
Man, the best part, the reason why players love playing for the Dallas Cowboys is because they know Jerry Jones will cut the check. All right. And Jerry Jones will cut the check because he wants his team to be relevant and he thinks that they're always one step away. It's why he's a horrible GM. He's a great owner, horrible GM. But what happens, though, is he's not the smartest when it comes to contract terms, and it's just hard to get out of some of these contracts. In this case, he gave Ezekiel Elliott a lot of money in guaranteed money. So that money's gone. It's already gone. It's already out the door. But he's still the highest paid running back, so it's hard to cut him loose. Will it happen? Yeah, it probably will happen. It probably will happen because Ezekiel Elliott's a running back. The value goes down the older they get. It's not like a quarterback. It's not even like a receiver, man. It's not even like a defensive end. Because of the miles, because of the carries, the productivity goes down. And so, unfortunately, Ezekiel Elliott probably won't finish his career as a Dallas Cowboy. There'll always be a team out there that'll absorb contracts and think that a guy has a little bit left. And so he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I don't want to see him go. I like the guy. He doesn't, I've always liked Ezekiel Elliott, and I think his heart is in the right place. I just think right now, man, he's not producing. And you just got to call it what it is. Like I said, in real life, if we're not producing, they'll find a replacement for us tomorrow. That's just the reality of it. The NFL is no different. It's a competitive league. Most people say NFL stands are not for long. So it's one of those things where when you're not producing, doesn't matter how much I like Ezekiel Elliott, doesn't matter what he's done for me in the past. When the time comes, they will move on. And even if that means next year, if they think Tony Pollard is fresher than Ezekiel Elliott, they'll figure out a way to make it work.
Well, there it is. Y'all heard it from the Pulse of Cowboy Nation. Appreciate you, boy.
That's Fire Mike McCarthy, yo. Fire Mike McCarthy.
How you just gonna throw that bomb in at the end, man?
No.
How you just
No. Because at the end of the day, I know you thought I was done. Fire Mike McCarthy. We will see you next week. If you want to know why, run this track back and then just join us next week because he's going to do something stupid again that'll make me come back and talk about it some more. Love you, brother.
Go. Subscribe to our daddy's YouTube channel. He's the best. Hit the like button, turn on the notifications.